The science of EFT tapping. So you might be wondering, what is the science of EFT tapping? You might have come across some of my videos where I'm doing EFT tapping or other videos online because there are so many videos online of EFT tapping. You might have even tried it for yourself and saw that you instantly felt better, more relaxed, more relieved, and you're wondering, what is the theory around this? What is the proof around this? How does it work? Is there any science to back it up? So that is what I'm going to be talking about today, as well as if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them and I will answer them either here live or come back if you're watching on the replay and answer them. EFT tapping is such an incredible tool. It's something that it's literally always in my tool belt and I'm using it all the time. I'm using it on physical things. I'm using it on emotional things. So maybe I'm stuck in traffic. I feel like I'm going to be late for something. I'm anxious. I literally start tapping on that in the moment and instantly feel better. I've used it in the past if I'm nervous before a live stream or a public speaking endeavor. I've also used it for physiological things like pain or cramps at that certain time, or even when I was giving birth to my children, because I have had 2 completely unmedicated births. Using EFT tapping through times of more uncomfortableness, we'll say, truly helped minimize the feelings that I was having so I could be totally and completely calm as I was going through that process. So honestly, the saying or the phrase is try it on everything. If there's anything that you're going through, just try it. It doesn't hurt to try. EFT tapping is something that works better through repetition. It works better as you integrate it into your daily habits. So try it on that thing, try it again tomorrow or later in the afternoon, try it again the next day. And after a few days, see how you feel. And I'm pretty sure you are going to feel better. It's a really wonderful tool. So let's talk about, let's talk about what do we do when we're doing EFT tapping. So our body has all of these energy meridian points. Everything in our body is made up of energy, okay? We are energetic beings. We are electrical beings. And so EFT tapping is really powerful because it allows us to harness and work with our energy. So rather than feeling like you have to keep the anger or nervousness or anxiety or whatever it is cooped up inside of you and just cope with it, and I did that for many years, just coping with it. With EFT tapping, you now have a tool to release it and just let it dissipate, okay? And so what's happening when we have a dense emotion, we're feeling anger, we're feeling nervous, we're feeling guilt, shame, whatever it is, essentially what's happening is our energy system has dense energy or it has some kind of a block. And so when we tap on these different energy meridians, we're allowing the energy to flow. There's a theory, and I don't know if it's been completely proven, but there's a theory that when we are in a place of self-sabotaging or when we are having negative emotions, it's that our energy is backed up or even flowing in the wrong direction. That part right there, I don't know how much is proved by science, but just sharing the theory. And so it is said that when we do EFT tapping, it allows the energy to flow in the right direction and it allows it to move. And that's truly how I feel after EFT tapping. That's also why we say after EFT tapping, try to get some movement. It's totally normal to yawn because yawning is showing how that energy is moving. And it's also a really good idea to have a big drink of water because we've moved so much energy. So we have these energy meridian points, top of the head, next to the eyebrow, just like where your eyebrow, that bone, kind of where your nose is, side of the eye, underneath the nose, and your dip in your chin, underneath your collarbone, like if you can kind of go right in there, that little dip right there, side of your chest, kind of like where a bra strap would be. And another popular one is tapping the wrists together. Now, no, we have energy meridian points all over the body. Some people use even more energy meridian points. There are some ones that are popular on the fingers and the hands, but the ones that I just guided you through are the ones that are most popular and the ones that I like to use and see a lot of benefits from. And so when we're tapping, we're essentially rebalancing our energy system and allowing the energy to flow. What's also happening is as mammals, as animals, when there is a real threat or kind of an understood threat in our environment. So like I said, I'm driving and I'm fearing that I'm going to be late, right? That's a fear and anxiety. Or you have to have a tough conversation. You fear what that other person is going to say. There's that perceived threat. What's happening is our body is moving from parasympathetic nervous system, where we would rest and digest, to sympathetic nervous system, which is our state of stress, panic, fight or flight mode. So, you don't want to be going through your whole day in fight or flight. And many, many humans are doing that. And coffee does not help the problem either. Drinking tons of coffee, I was there too. And so what EFT tapping does is it helps us get out of that sympathetic nervous system back into the parasympathetic state. Why do we want to be out of the sympathetic nervous system? Many, many reasons, but because when you're in fight or flight, your body thinks it has to run, it has to escape, it has to get away from the lion or the bear or whatever the threat is. Your body is not focused on healing. It's focused on essentially sending the blood to your muscles so you can run away as quickly as possible, because it thinks that there's a threat, because our body doesn't understand that the threat of being late for the meeting doesn't mean you're actually physically going to die. And so that's really, really important. And so when we're tapping on these points, what's happening is something called a piezoelectric effect. And I hope I said that right. And it's sending a signal to our amygdala, because our amygdala is fired up, we're in fight or flight. It's sending the signal to the amygdala saying, relax, you're totally safe. There's nothing to worry about. The amygdala is noticing these different body parts and saying, oh, okay, her eyebrow is safe, her chin is safe, her clavicle is safe. It's sensing all of these different areas and noticing it's safe, and it's desensitizing from the heightened emotion of stress, anxiety, fear, whatever the thing is that has occurred, or whatever the emotion is that has occurred. So that's really, really powerful. I'm seeing a question. Oh, Jess on our team is saying, I always feel so good after. Yeah, I tap all the time on everything. My kids watch me do it too. And sometimes they do it too. And it's really cute because I'm like, yeah, that's really good. But it's good they're starting early. Hi, Livia. And I'm also getting a question. Does coffee in that example keep the body not grounded? So I feel like I could do a whole other live on coffee. And then I could do a whole other live on my ideas on why we're so programmed to think that we need to drink coffee. But just to keep it short and sweet, because we're not talking about coffee today, we're talking about EFT. But EFT essentially blocks off a receptor in our brain called GABA, GABA, if you want to Google it. And GABA is what allows us to relax and be calm. So when we're blocking off that receptor, we don't have our natural ability to stay calm. And so by drinking coffee, especially drinking multiple cups a day, without realizing it, we're throwing ourselves into fight or flight all day, right? So, sometimes it feels like we're energized after drinking coffee, but part of it is like that adrenaline rush because we've thrown ourselves into the state of fight or flight, into the state of stress. So great question. Yeah, I teach the kids from young. Okay, the whole team's here. Love it. Thanks, everyone. Hi, Cassidy. Okay, so we're tapping on meridian points in the body. Another reason why this is so important, why including body work in any type of coaching, any type of support that you're doing. If you're here, you're a coach, maybe you even have coworkers that you want to lead in your job or your company. Maybe you have students, or maybe you're a coach for a sports team, whatever it is. Why it's so important to integrate the body is because we have afferent neurons and efferent neurons. And so for the afferent neurons, they send, I believe it's 80% of information to the brain. So they're sensing everything that's happening around us, everything that's happening within us, and sending that information to the brain. So if you can imagine, 80% of the information is being sent from the body to the brain about how we're feeling and what's happening around us. And then 20% is being sent back out from the brain to the body. And so when we can work with the body to help our body feel more safe and in that state of, peace, then it can send more information to be releasing those feel good chemicals that we are truly safe, right? Dopamine, endorphins, etc., etc. Okay, so if anyone has any questions on anything that I've shared so far, I will dive right into those. So feel free to type in the chat or leave them in the comments after. Also, make sure to like this video, click the little thumb button if you are enjoying this. So now let's just talk about some cool studies. Now, there are hundreds of peer review studies, and this is just a small handful, but I know some of you are here because you want to hear the science of what the efficacy of EFT tapping is. So let's get into it. So one is in a study of veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, EFT was found to significantly reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Okay. And that source is Sebastian B. and Nelms in 2017. Next is in a meta-analysis of 20 studies, it found that EFT tapping was effective in reducing symptoms of anxiety with an average effect size of 0.97, okay? And that source is Gilliman, Essay, and Lee in 2015. Now, I'm going to continue to add in a few more scientific studies because I know this is also interesting. But one thing that I really want to share is if you're here and you are a coach, you're a practitioner, you're a leader, you work with people in improving their success in their life, getting the results that they want in their life, or just managing their state. Maybe it's people who are selling things or working with customer service. And you know that for them to do the best at what they do, they can't be feeling anxiety. They can't be feeling stress. They can't be bringing their outside things into work. That's why I want to tell you about the Yes Apply Method coaching certification. So in the certification, we have 5 different coaching modalities. And they're all backed and supported with evidence and with science. The whole program was developed with the help of an award-winning neuropsychologist as well as all my years of experience in coaching people and seeing what works and what doesn't work, as well as manifesting some incredible things in my life. And so if you want to learn more, click down below and you can book a call with our team and also learn more about the Yes Apply Method. But essentially what we do is we walk you through a step-by-step process to clearly set goals, to clearly line up your self-image and your identity to being the person who easily and effortlessly achieves those goals. We help you create the habits that would make that success inevitable, as well as release any past emotions, past memories, blocks that are getting in your way of achieving that outcome. So people who go through the Yes Apply Method find that it creates a huge shift in their own life. And a lot of people go through the Yes Apply Method just for themselves and their own personal growth. But then of course, the absolute bonus of that too is you can take everything that you've learned and all the transformation that you've had for yourself, and you can apply it to help other people. So if you're a coach or you're a practitioner, this is of course going to transfer so well into your practice. If you're a leader, a CEO, manager, anything like that, this is going to help you coach the people around you. And if you're a mom or a parent, these are incredible tools to teach your children. I'm so grateful that I knew about these tools going into having children, and being able to manage my own emotions, as well as understanding emotions, understanding how the subconscious mind is programmed and formed so that I can use that as I'm bringing up my children. So if you want to learn more about the Yes Apply Method, you can click down below to learn more. And maybe you're not quite ready to jump full into the Yes Apply Method. I'll also link below a bundle of energy techniques. So if you love EFT for managing your energy and you want a bundle of incredible techniques to help you manage, protect, and ground your energy, I will link that course below for you as well. It's a really, really affordable price and a great way to get started into managing and protecting your energy, especially if you're an empathetic or sensitive person. You feel like you maybe absorb other people's emotions, or people are able to drain your emotions. These are practices like cord cutting, energy protection bubble, EFT, and so much more that have absolutely changed my life. So diving back into it, I see a couple questions. So I'll answer a couple of questions and then I'll go into a few more studies. So first question is, I heard EFT could help alleviate allergies and hay fever. Any thoughts on how that would work? Yes. So I have seen this happen before. And how I have seen it work is essentially the person who, so obviously, I'm just going to preface this by saying, make sure that if you're working with allergies or anything life-threatening, you're doing it in a safe environment. You're being observed from a professional so that you can keep yourself or whoever you're working with safe. And if you're a coach, make sure that you're always working within your scope of practice. But how I've seen examples of people being able to do this is essentially, you want to ask, why does somebody have an allergy? Why can one person eat a food and it's like, that was delicious. The next person eat the exact same food and your body's saying, danger, danger, get that out, right? It's not actually the food, it's how your brain is responding to the food, right? And so if the person can tune into the idea of the food, so they're gonna, maybe I should do this actually, because I can't eat dragon fruit, but I haven't tried this. And I don't eat it that much anyway, so I don't really miss it. Anyway, so I could tune into the energy or the thought of dragon fruit. I can think of dragon fruit, and I can say, even though I'm allergic to dragon fruit, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though this dragon fruit is causing an allergy for me, I totally and completely accept myself. Dragon fruit is actually safe. It's just a totally normal food. Everybody eats dragon fruit. It's delicious, da, 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 da. And so because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined, I'm bringing up the idea of dragon fruit and I'm telling my amygdala, it's safe. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. Because it's not the dragon fruit that's causing the allergy. It's how my brain and my senses are sensing and perceiving the dragon fruit. So if we can change how our brain reacts to it, then we can alleviate the reaction. Like I said, not a lawyer, not a doctor. Take it to a professional, but this is just the experience that I've seen in my life. How to use EFT to eliminate limiting beliefs. So similar to what I just showed, you would think of whatever the limiting belief is. So let's just say you feel like, we were talking about this today in a previous coaching session. So you feel like no one's going to buy my product. So you would say, even though I feel like no one's going to buy my product, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So you would bring up the thought of the limiting belief. So the limiting belief is no one's going to buy your product. The limiting belief is I'm not a good writer. The limiting belief is I'm not confident, whatever it is. And you would simply tap on that. And you can search YouTube, Yes Supply. I have tons of EFTs if you want to tap along with me for those. And Truth Seeker is asking, can EFT be used to heal adult ADHD? If yes, what kind of script can one follow? And I'm actually just going to look through my list of studies. Let me see if I had one on ADHD. I collected one. Based on, I haven't personally seen it, but I feel like someone could possibly alleviate symptoms. So if you're feeling like, for example, lack of focus, certain things, why not, like I said at the beginning, try it on everything. Try tapping on lack of focus or feeling distracted or feeling overstimulated or whatever the things that are coming up that are bothering you the most. Just try tapping on it for a week. You can't tap something in the wrong direction. And then after a week, see if you feel better. And if you do, come back. And either way, come back and let me know. I would love to hear how that worked for you. Yeah, there are so many great studies on it. So I would not be surprised. I don't actually see one in my list, but now that I'm thinking about it, I will try to find one and come back. As I'm like going through my list, it's like irritable bowel syndrome, OCD, anxiety disorder, chronic fatigue. Just kind of scrolling through postpartum depression, addiction, insomnia, fibromyalgia, I can't say that, depression. So, as I'm going through this list, phobias, as I'm going through this list of things that it's supporting or at least alleviating to some degree the symptoms of, I would not be surprised if you were to try this on certain things you're experiencing and you felt a lot better right after. And of course, thank you. Great question. Next question. Thank you. I will have to tweak a bit, but my hay fever isn't caused by anything in particular, non-allergic rhinitis. So I play around with it, but love how it's all about making the body feel safe. Yeah. Okay, cool. I love that. I'm so glad you're going to try it. So let's go through a few other studies. I also have other blogs on EFT on my blog too, so you can check those out after. But another study said, in a study of patients with chronic pain, EFT tapping was found to be effective in reducing pain and improving quality of life. So the source for that is Ekman and Leisure. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And like I said, I was using it through non-medicated childbirth, really effective for me. And I've used it on cramps before too, and other little aches and pains. Another great study, EFT tapping has been used as a treatment for phobias with success rates ranging from 70 to 100%. Source of that is Dawson Church, who actually has a book on EFT tapping. Another one, in a study of patients with food cravings, EFT tapping was found to be effective in reducing cravings and improving eating behavior. So if you're watching and you're a health coach, fitness coach, personal trainer, why not introduce EFT into your client's homework for, in between sessions, and it can help them alleviate food cravings so they can stick with the diet or nutrition plan that you have for them. So again, yes, Apply Method coaching certification that we offer would be perfect to show you how to implement this into your work. Another study, and we'll kind of wrap this up, but maybe I'll do a part 2. Another study is EFT has been used as a treatment for depression, with some studies reporting success rates of up to 60%. The source for that is Nelms, J.A., and Castle in 2016. And in a study of patients with fibromyalgia, EFT was found to significantly reduce pain and improve quality of life. And the source for that is Bratberg G. In 2008. And last one, why not? We're having fun. EFT tapping has been used as a treatment for insomnia, with some studies reporting success rates of up to 80%. So if somebody can't sleep, tap. I've actually used this on times. When you're about to go to sleep and your mind is just racing, you have so many ideas. I have definitely used it for supporting myself with sleep. I do not have full-blown insomnia. I'm very blessed for that, but up to 80%, that's quite effective. And the source for that is Sulim and Alansky and Alotalbi YA and Ali in 2022. All right. Okay. This was super fun. Let's see if there's any more questions. Okay. So I think I got to all the questions. If you watch on the replay, feel free to leave a question in the comments. We'll respond to it in an upcoming live or video, or we'll just respond right there in the comments. But again, if you have any questions, if you're thinking, how do I use this for myself, or how do I implement this into my work, or how I'm leading and supporting others, I truly believe that if you're working with people in general, even if you don't call yourself a coach or a practitioner, you do need the tools that we teach in the Yes Apply method, because it helps you unlock your subconscious mind. It helps you reprogram yourself for success. It helps you understand the people that you're working with and communicating with that much better, so you can both achieve your goals and live a better life. So thank you everyone for being here. This was so much fun. Again, if you like this, please hit the like button. It helps more people learn this information who would want to learn all about the science of EFT. And if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button for more EFT videos and more videos on the subconscious mind and creating a life you love. Thank you.